A grape tree? What in the world is a grape tree? Alright guys, Pinkie-Pepper at the Abundant Harvest Homestead once again, just living life, trying to accomplish some things for our future. Right now, dealing with some grapes, and this Pinkie-Pepper is going to have some neat stuff to show you guys in a minute, but first I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this grape tree project I'm working on. So, as you might have saw with my bitter melon video, along this fence line, I'm actually growing some bitter melons that are going to run this fence line, but I might run some grapes up here too. I've got a couple more that I've actually had all the way from Wisconsin, waiting to go in, and I might either let these run the fence line like this one's trying, or I may do a project where I try to make little grape trees, and I'll show you a little bit more about that idea. That is so good. Fresh strawberries straight out the garden. Here though, I've got 4 grape plants growing. At the moment I'm bringing them up to this level. I may bring them up one more, or I may actually turn them into like a grape tree. Now it's not an actual tree that bears grapes, but it's where you craft the grapevine to pretty much look and function as a tree. But before I do that, with these couple varieties that I've got here, and again it's just to kind of get things on a different level. At the ground cover level here, we've actually got some cabbage growing in some free spots, which eventually the runners from these strawberries will cover. But strawberries and cabbage are growing at the ground level right now. I've got some walking onions kind of filling in some stuff behind me over here. I mean, those are getting waist high at least. And then the grapes are heading up to the next level, and they may go up a little higher, so I can kind of get a couple levels of food out of the same raised bed. That's the way I like to kind of just stack the functions, get the most bang for my buck. But before I kind of prune these completely to function as a grape tree, I wanted to use a wild one, so I'm not really risking as much with my my cultivated varieties. So I've got a wild one in another area I'm working on, and that really kind of captures the essence of what I'm going for. And I want your guys' feedback on this. Do you think it'll work? Do you think it makes sense? Am I wasting my time? What do you think? So this is the idea for the grape tree, and I may stabilize it with a T-post from the other end, but what I've done is where there was a number of wild grapevines growing up, I've just been plucking off the lower sprouts. I wove them together much like you'd see with a ficus or something like that, and I'm not sure if with these being outside and with them being interwoven and braided together, if water's going to get down in there, they grow and cause issues. That's why I'm testing it with a wild one first, but then the goal is that eventually this will have a stalk that can support itself. It won't need to be trellised with T-posts, with wires, with anything. It'll just be standing on its own, and this will be thicker and tough and hard and standing up straight. Then up here, I'll be able to pretty much have it kind of be lollipopped, meaning that it can all sprout out from here. I can keep these trimmed back. If you look here, I'll show you closer, but there's already a number of places where grapes are going to be starting on here. And then to pretty much have a stand by itself trunk with a sprout out with grapes on it, and just to have this little like mini tree is kind of my goal. I'm not sure if it's going to work. I think it has potential. It puts grapes up at a great area where I can just, walk up to the tree, pick my cluster of grapes, and move on with life. And I think it's just a different way of kind of incorporating things into the landscape. If I can have a number of grape trees scattered out kind of in between some other things, providing a little bit of shade for part of the day for some lower lying plants, and have them stacked up like this, I think that's a great idea. And then it'll be on to Pinkie-Pepper talking about some of our baby animals around here and what we've got going on.
I have a tick, so I'm gonna see if the guineas will eat it. Here, guinea, guinea, guinea. Here, come eat this tick. Come here. Don't play with it. Here, eat it. It's a tick. So you won't get any ticks on you. Alright, get it. There you go. There we go. Got rid of that tick, so she's hopefully gonna start sitting on them. She might already be sitting on them, so that'll be nice, because then they'll have some baby chicks, and that'll be really cool. And she's in here because she flies out and eats our plants. But she's always out here at night, and she goes on her nest, so. So these are lambs from this last year. They're about a few months old. And this is our little ram. He has really good horns compared to his half-sister. She has white horns, which are not as good, because for Jacob sheep, they should have a black muzzle, black eyes, and part of them should have black. He looks a lot like Dodge when he was little. He's Rambo's son though, and we're gonna I think sell him or use him for meat. And he's a pretty good little booger here. And his horns, this little one right here isn't doing so good, but it's still on. It's just really tiny. And this one's doing really good, and it's really big. And these two in the front are doing pretty good. And he has some great genetics for Jacob sheep. So our Jacob sheep can have 4 or 6 horns, and their moms don't have any horns, and neither does Lavender and some of our other sheep. So we're trying to breed for horns, better horns, because their moms had horns, but they all fell off. So we're trying to breed for better horns, and they can have 6 horns. But most of our sheep, we have crazier horns, Cookie, and Breezy, and they all have 4 horns. So, and Skylight, she's like a baby Mrs. Hook. So those are the ones that have horns. And then his sister, Cream, which is down there, we still want to catch her. I think she only has 2 horns. Oh my God.
Breezy has white horns, which we don't really want, and her mom had black horns, but some of her little part of her horns is black. And she has great genetics. When they're little, they have loose horns if they do have horns, and if they're feeding from the same mom, sometimes it can knock out their horns and then they'll have no horns.
Or feeding from a trough, and they're just all headbutting for their feed. We had one of our lambs, White Lamb, he lost some of his horns when he was feeding in a big pan, because they're trying to fight for the feed, because sometimes it's really little. Okay, these are our 2 dogs, Rosemary and Thorn. Thorn is a male, and we got him from Bluer Than Green and his family, because they were going to get rid of him, and they said that we could have him. So I think he bred Rosemary, is what it looks like. And she's going to have puppies here in a few more months, and we're really excited about that. And we're going to sell them, because they do a pretty good job with animals. But if we get Rosemary's puppies and sell both of them, then we can raise up their puppies with sheep and goats, and they'll hopefully do better, because sometimes they will chase around the goat and the sheep. So if we keep like 1 or 2 of Rosemary's puppies and train them to be nice to the animals, then we'll just sell them and keep 2 nice ones. Won't that be good, Rosemary? And so we're really excited about her gonna have puppies, but I wish if she could have puppies now, but we have to wait a few more months. Maybe she might have them, what is it, May, June, July, maybe July or August or something, or after August somewhere. So yeah, they're pretty good dogs. We got Rosemary when she was a puppy from my friends, and they had raised them. Well, we got Rosemary when she was like this big only, and they raised them from when they were little with their bottle baby goats and lambs. But when we got Rosemary, we put her with our chickens, so she would always bark at them with her food. And her brother, they don't really like having other animals get their food, and her brother was really aggressive towards Blue and Green's, their ducks. He would, when we would watch their animals, he would come and he would growl at them and bark at them, and he would hold the duck's neck down with their paw till he got done eating, and then he'd let them go. So we want to train them, and she doesn't care when Thorn eats with her. They don't care because they like each other, so that's good. When we first got Thorn, they weren't really that good friends, but now they're pretty good friends and they like each other, so that's a fun thing. And we're gonna have some puppies, right, Rosemary?
As always, I'm Papa Pepper, and I'd like to remind you, don't post for free. If you'd like to be part of a revolution in social media, an economic power to the people where users can actually blog for cryptocurrency, then I'd recommend that you check out steemit.com and join the revolution. Papa out.